Hello everyone, welcome to Plutus IAS. So today in our National Daily Analysis and UPSC topic analysis, we are going to analyze some important topics from UPSC prelims and mains perspective. So the topics that we are going to understand is Indo-Gangetic Plain is a global ammonia hotspot. So we will understand about this particular topic in detail. Okay. So this is a very important topic for your mains examination as well as for prelims exam. So it is a topic which is especially important from environment and ecology perspective. Okay, which is relevant with general studies paper 3 of your mains exam. Okay, general studies paper 3. Then the next topic that we will understand is solar and lunar eclipses. Okay, we will understand about them. We will see the context in which these solar and lunar eclipses were in news. This particular topic is relevant from science and technology perspective as well as geography perspective. Okay, in geography you understand about the solar system and all, so it is important from geography perspective as well. Okay, so solar and lunar eclipse, when we talk about it, it is especially important for the prelims exam, upcoming prelims exam of 2021. Okay, then the next topic that we will understand is about a drug which is known as molnupiravir. Okay, molnupiravir. So this is a drug which is effective against COVID-19 virus. Okay, so we will understand in detail about this particular drug. We will understand about the findings of our study with reference to this drug. Okay, so this particular topic is important from health related perspective. It may be asked in general studies paper 3 or GS paper 2 as well. Okay. Then the next topic that we will understand is Malana cream. Okay, Malana cream. What is Malana cream? We will understand. This is Himalayas unique cannabis product. Okay, we see like some kind of drugs are there. So it is locally known in Himachal Pradesh as hashish. Okay, so we will understand in detail about this Malana cream, why it is known as cream. We will understand everything in detail about it. Okay, so this is a topic which is again important from the health perspective as well as governance related issues. Okay, governance related issues, we will talk about it. Okay, then the next topic is we will understand about diet of the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, there was recently a research study was conducted on Indus Valley civilization, and they have talked about the diet, like what was the eating pattern of the people from the Indus Valley civilization. So we will talk about it in detail, okay, in this particular article. So now let us go to the first topic, which is Indo-Gangetic Plain is a global ammonia hotspot. So this is, recently a study was conducted by IIT Kharagpur. IIT stands for Indian Institute of Technology. So IIT Kharagpur has done a study on Indo-Gangetic Plain, and they found that like it is a global ammonia hotspot. Okay, so in that perspective, we will understand in detail about it. Okay, so what is the context in which this particular news item was in news? It is because the IIT Kharagpur has found that Indo-Gangetic Plain is a global hotspot for atmospheric and ammonia. Okay, here on your screen you can see this is the map of India. Okay, this is the map of India, and to the right side of your screen you can see the Indo-Gangetic Plain is highlighted in the map of India. Okay, so this is the plain of through which the Ganga river flows. It is known as Gangetic Plain, and this is the plain over which the Indus river flows. Okay, so this highlighted portion in this particular map, it actually shows you the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Okay, Indo-Gangetic Plain. Okay, so in this perspective we will understand in detail about this particular study. Okay, so let us understand about key points, okay, of this particular study. Okay, so atmospheric ammonia is generated due to the nitrogenous fertilizers, manure management, etc. How the atmospheric ammonia is generated? It is generated due to the use of nitrogenous fertilizer as well as manure management. Okay, and there is a positive correlation between atmospheric ammonia and fertilizer consumption. It simply means like if we consume more fertilizers, we are releasing some ammonia in the atmosphere, and then atmospheric ammonia is increasing day by day. Okay, so there is a positive correlation. The more is the usage of ammonia, the more will be the concentration of ammonia in the atmosphere. Okay, now what is the threat because of the because of this particular thing? Like if Indo-Gangetic Plain is a ammonia hotspot, global ammonia hotspot, then what is the threat with this? Okay, it plays a key role in deterioration of the air quality in India by actively contributing to the formation of secondary aerosols. Okay, it leads to the formation of secondary aerosols, and that actually degrades the air quality. Okay, that degrades or deteriorates, okay, the air quality in India. Okay, so this is the threat. Like secondary aerosol formation happens because of high concentration of nitrogenous like ammonia in the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Now what are the measures that should be taken, right? We should go forward towards adoption of a precision farming along with seasonal restrictions on the use of fertilizers. Okay, what we need to do, we need to adopt precision farming technique, and we need to go for seasonal restrictions on the use of fertilizers. Okay, so seasonal restrictions can be placed. Then the general trend in the atmospheric ammonia over India is negative in most seasons. Okay, so these are the things. If you want to learn more, you can look for some study related to this particular thing over the internet. Now let us move to the next topic for the day. We will understand about solar and lunar eclipses. Okay, so what are eclipses? These are celestial events. These are celestial events. We will understand in detail about solar eclipse, and we will understand about lunar eclipse. But before that, let us understand about the context in which solar and lunar eclipses were in use. Okay, so on December, the last phase of the eclipse of the year, that is the total solar eclipse, is going to occur. Okay, on December 14th. So today is 10th of December. On 14th of December, the last of the eclipses of the year, that is the total solar eclipse, will occur. Okay, so that's why it was in news. And in a year, at most 5 such solar eclipses can occur. Okay, at most 5 such solar eclipses can occur, but this is the last eclipse of this 2020 that is going to happen on December 14th. Okay, so unlike the annular solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse will not be visible in India. Okay, so in India we have seen annular solar eclipse, okay, in 2019 and in 2020 as well, but total solar eclipse will not be visible in India. Okay, this is the context. And this particular celestial event will be visible in select few cities, including Temuco, Velarica, Sierra Colorado, that are situated in Chile and Argentina. Okay, on the other hand, the Pacific Ocean, then Antarctica and south of the South America will witness a partial solar eclipse. Okay, the previous solar eclipses, which was an annular solar eclipse, occurred on June 21st. So far, we have also seen 4 penumbral lunar eclipses in the year 2020. Okay, then the last lunar eclipse occurred on November 30, and the penumbral lunar eclipse was not visible in India as it took place below the horizon. Okay, so we will understand. So this is the context in which this particular news item was in news. We will understand in detail about solar eclipses and lunar eclipse. Okay, now let us move further. So what is a solar eclipse? Solar eclipse is a celestial event that occurs when the new moon passes, okay, when the new moon passes between the sun and the earth, okay, and totally blocks the sun. Okay, let's consider on one hand we have the sun, okay, we have the sun. On the other hand we have earth, but between sun and earth, let's consider there is moon. Okay, between sun and earth there is moon. Then this moon is actually blocking the sunlight from reaching the earth. Okay, so the thing is, from earth the sun will not be visible either totally or partially. That is known as solar eclipse. Means like the frame of reference is the earth. From earth we are seeing the moon and the sun. Okay, when the sun is not visible because of the moon, when moon comes in between the earth and the sun, okay, that is known as a solar eclipse. Okay, it is known as solar eclipse. And what do we mean by lunar eclipse? When the earth comes between the sun and the moon, then the moon will not be visible from the earth, because like earth is blocking the light, okay, from the sun to reach the moon. That is known as lunar eclipse. Whatever is not visible, that is the eclipse. Sun is not visible, solar eclipse. Moon is not visible, lunar eclipse. Okay, moon is not visible, lunar eclipse. So from where it is visible from the surface of the earth. So frame of reference is the earth. From earth, if sun is not visible, we say it to be solar eclipse. When moon is not visible, we say it to be lunar eclipse. So partial eclipses happens, okay, total eclipses happens. We will understand about different types of eclipses that happens, okay. And a maximum of 5 solar eclipses can take place in a year, okay. However, in most years we witness only 2 solar eclipses. Then the number of solar eclipses reaching 5 is very rare, as according to the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, okay. So NASA has said that, like, witnessing 5 solar eclipses in a year is very rare. Okay, last time it took place in the year of 1935, and next time it is projected that, like, in the year of 2206, okay, we can witness 5 solar eclipses in a year. Also, in the last 5000 years, we have seen 5 solar eclipses in a year only 25 times. Okay, in last 5000 years, there have been 25 instances where we have seen 5 solar eclipses in a year. Okay, like that. So these studies are done by NASA. Now let us understand about solar eclipse, okay, in detail. So what do we mean by solar eclipse? As you know, like, all the planets in our solar system are revolving around the sun, okay, and some of these planets also have its own celestial body object, which is known as a satellite. So Earth's natural satellite is the moon, okay, Earth's natural satellite is the moon. So when Earth is revolving around the sun, at the same time moon is also revolving around the earth, following and it follows the earth, okay. So moon is revolving around the earth, and it accompanies the earth in moving around the sun. So what is happening? So when the moon is doing revolution around the earth, what is sometimes the moon can come in between the earth and the sun, blocking the sunlight from reaching the earth. Okay, so when it blocks the sunlight from reaching the earth, so from some portion of the earth the sun is not visible, okay, during the daytime itself. That is known as a solar eclipse. Okay, so like, when solar eclipses happens, moon casts some shadow on the earth. Okay, it casts some shadow on the earth. So these shadows are known as penumbra and umbra. Okay, these shadows are known as penumbra or umbra. So what is penumbra? Penumbra is the partial shadow. Okay, umbra is the full shadow. Okay, so umbra is the full shadow that falls on the surface of the earth, and penumbra is the partial shadow. So what is happening? Moon is partially blocking the sunlight from reaching the earth, and from some portion of the earth the sun is not visible during the daytime itself. That is known as a solar eclipse. Okay, so what can be the different types of solar eclipses? We can have partial solar eclipse, we can have annular solar eclipse, we can have total solar eclipse. What do we mean by partial solar eclipse? When a part of the sun is not visible from a part of the earth. Okay, when part of the sun is not visible but other part of the sun is visible, that is known as partial solar eclipse. What is annular solar eclipse? When the middle portion of the sun is not visible, okay, only a ring shape of the sun is visible, that is known as annular solar eclipse. It is known as annular solar eclipse, and we have witnessed annular solar eclipse from India itself in the year of 2019. Okay, what is total solar eclipse? When the complete sun is not visible from some portion of the earth. Okay, that is known as total solar eclipse. So apart from this, we are going to understand about lunar eclipses as well. Okay, so when does lunar eclipse happens? when the earth comes between the sun and the moon, so earth blocks the sunlight from reaching the moon. Okay, earth is blocking the sunlight from reaching the moon. So in that case, what will happen? The moon will not be visible from the earth. Okay, moon will not be visible from some portion of the earth. Okay, like one particular, eastern hemisphere, like it will not be visible like that. So if we go according to this particular diagram, so what are the different types of lunar eclipses? Okay, lunar eclipses means when the moon is not visible from the earth. Okay, so we have three different types of lunar eclipse also. One of the lunar eclipse is known as total lunar eclipse. Okay, so what happens in the total lunar eclipse? The entire moon passes through the full shadow. Okay, the entire moon passes through the full shadow of the earth. Okay, so that is known as total lunar eclipse. Here the moon is not visible completely, okay, from earth. Okay, then what do we mean by partial lunar eclipse? Partial lunar eclipse happens when the part of the moon passes through the full shadow. Okay, only a part of the moon passes through the full shadow. So some portion of the moon is visible, but other portion of the moon is not visible. Okay, then we have another type of lunar eclipse which is known as penumbral lunar eclipse. Okay, it is known as penumbral lunar eclipse. So when does it happens? When the moon passes only through partial shadow. Okay, partial shadow, I have already told like what do we mean by full shadow and partial shadow. Full shadow is known as umbra, partial shadow is known as penumbra. Okay, so penumbra means penumbral lunar eclipse means like moon passes only through partial shadow of the earth. Okay, and from earth moon is visible, but like moon is not that glorious. Okay, means like so it is visible to some extent like that. Okay, so that's all about the solar and lunar eclipses. If you want to learn more about this, you can follow this reference link from Indian Express. Okay, and apart from this, like there is one more diagram for you. So we are talking about magnitude of solar and lunar eclipses. Okay, so when half of the like sun is not visible, it is known as partial. Okay, then up to 0.9 okay percent, like 90% of the sun is not visible, it is known as partial. When what happens when the middle disk of the sun is not visible, like only the outer ring is visible, that is known as annular solar eclipse. Then total solar eclipse happens when the complete sun is not visible. Okay, similar is the case for lunar eclipse as well. Okay, so you can see these images, okay, that talks about penumbral lunar eclipse, penumbral lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse, and total lunar eclipse. Okay, now let us move to the next topic. Okay, we will now understand about what is malnupiravir. Okay, malnupiravir. So this is a kind of medicine or a drug that has been recently developed. Okay, this drug is effective against SARS-CoV-19 virus. Okay, so what do we mean by SARS? SARS stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. Okay, SARS stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. So let us understand the context in which this particular news item was in news. A new drug called Molnupiravir has been shown, okay, to stop the transmission of SARS-CoV-2, which is also known as COVID-19, okay, in 24 hours. Okay, this particular drug has been shown to stop the transmission in 24 hours itself. The results of the research by the scientists at the Institute of Biomedical Sciences, okay, Georgia State University, have been published in the journal Nature Microbiology. Okay, they have published the research in a journal which is known as Nature Microbiology. Okay, and the Indian researchers plan to apply to the drug regulator to conduct human trials with the drug. Okay, so let us understand about this particular drug. This particular Molnupiravir is a antiviral drug. Antiviral, as you know, SARS-CoV is a virus. Okay, so this drug is antiviral drug. It is known as Molnupiravir, and its scientific name is like how it is numbered, named MK-4482/EIDD2801. This is Molnupiravir is also known scientifically like that. Okay, I have mentioned this particular number also. and this particular drug is taken orally. Okay, it is taken orally, like you have like oral polio vaccine. OPV, you might have heard about it, that small kids are given that OPV, so they are taking it as a drop like that. Okay, so this malnupiravir is taken orally. Then malnupiravir is being developed by the biotechnology firm which is known as Ridgeback. Okay, biotherapeutics. Okay, Ridgeback biotherapeutics, in collaboration with the pharmaceutical firm Merck. Okay, so these two organizations are have developed this particular malnupiravir. Okay, then the research team repurposed MK4482 EIDD 2801 against SARS-CoV and tested it on ferrets. Okay, they have tested it on ferrets. So what do we mean by ferrets? Ferrets are small animals. Okay, they are like, they resemble the characteristics of cat as well as mouse. You can see like this is the image of ferret. So they have conducted the study on ferrets. Okay, they have done the research on ferrets, and they have found that like it is effective against SARS-CoV, like SARS-CoV-2. SARS stands for severe acute respiratory syndrome. SARS-CoV-2 is also known as COVID-19. It is also known as COVID-19 virus. Okay, so the thing is, why they have chosen this, okay, ferrets for their for their study, because the ferrets also show the similar respiratory thing as human beings. Like they have the similar mechanism of doing the respiration, and their organs are similar to human beings. Okay, so that's why they have conducted the research on, okay, ferrets. Okay, to get the results, okay, that we can expect from human beings, because we could not do direct research or trials on human beings, because it is against medical ethics. Okay, so this is the first demonstration of an orally available drug to rapidly block SARS-CoV-2 transmission, and it can be a game changer. How it acts, it's when we talk about its actions, in ferrets the drug was shown to completely suppress the transmission of SARS-CoV-2 within 24 hours. Okay, so in ferrets the drug's transmission was completely suppressed within 24 hours. Then researchers infected ferrets. Okay, researchers, what they did, they have infected these ferrets with the SARS-CoV virus itself. Okay, so these ferrets were earlier good, but they have been infected by the virus to conduct the study, to conduct the research. So researchers infected ferrets with SARS-CoV-2 and initiated treatment with MK4482/EIDD 2801, which is also known as malnupiravir. Okay, when the animals started to shed the virus from the nose. Okay, so the thing is, after this particular ferret was infected with the SARS-CoV-2 virus, they started shedding the virus from their nose, and later on the researchers have given this particular malnupiravir drug to this ferret. Okay, to check like how it is responding. Okay, however, just a minute. Okay, however, all contracts of the source ferret had that had received placebo became infected. Okay, so the thing is, all those ferrets who have been given this particular treatment, they have been infected earlier, and the exciting development was that it can completely suppress, okay, the spread to untreated contact animals also. Okay, so according to researchers, if these ferret based data translate to humans, then COVID-19 patients treated with the drug could become non-infectious within 24 hours after beginning treatment. Then why they have chosen ferrets? Ferrets are a popular model. Okay, they are a popular model for influenza and other respiratory infections, because their their lung physiology is similar to humans, and researchers hope that they will mimic the aspects of COVID-19 in people, such as its spread. Okay, so when we talk about human trials, the drug basically stops the replication of the copies of viruses RNA in the cell. The drug is like any other anti-flu drug, and was on list of drugs to go into clinical trials. Okay, globally the clinical testing of Molnupiravir is carried out by Merck. Okay, so this is an organization that has actually developed this Molnupiravir virus. Okay, the phase 2 of the third phase trial is a randomized placebo-controlled double-blind clinical study, okay, to evaluate the efficacy and safety of MK4482 in hospitalized adults with COVID-19 across 46 locations in various countries. Okay, if you want to learn more about it, you can follow this reference link from Indian Express. Okay, now let us move to the next topic for the day. We will understand about Malana cream, okay, which is Himachal's unique cannabis product. Okay, what is cannabis? In Hindi we know cannabis as charas. Okay, we will so it is locally known as charas. So we will understand why this Malana cream or charas was in news recently. Okay, what is the context? Okay, recently, the Narcotics Control Bureau in Mumbai on Wednesday claimed to have seized the contraband Malana cream from a person who was linked to actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death. Okay, so Narcotics Control Bureau has seized some kind of Malana cream from a person who was linked to the to this actor's death. So what is the legal status of charas in India? Charas was banned in India in 1986 under the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act of 1985. Okay, so there is an act which is known as NDPS Act. Okay, Narcotic, Drug and Psychotropic Substances Act. So charas was banned in India in 1986 under the NDPS Act 1985, but the plant was considered an important crop in Kullu, used for a variety of other purposes such as making footwear. Okay, so it is it is found in the Kullu Valley in Himachal Pradesh. Okay, so in Kullu district, okay, in Kullu district itself there is a village which is known as Malana village, and this particular village is little bit isolated because of its geographical location, because of its geographical feature, and this particular village has been isolated from rest of the parts of the country. Many people who are drug addicts, okay, they go there for the purpose of doing cracking, and they consume charas over there. So that's why it has been in news. So let us see this particular map to understand about location of Malana and Kullu district. You can see this is the location of Kullu district, and in Kullu district itself this is Malana. Okay, this is the location of Malana. Okay, so here it is in Himachal Pradesh. Okay, now let us move further to understand in detail. So what is this Malana cream? It is the charas or hash or hashish. Okay, it is known as charas or hashish, which comes from the Malana Valley in Kullu district of Himachal Pradesh. So charas is also called bhang in Himachal. Okay, is the resin that is obtained from a species or a strain of the cannabis plant. Okay, so botanical classification of cannabis is still disputed, and it grows naturally in the valley and is also cultivated illegally here. Okay, it is grown naturally, it grows naturally, and it is cultivated illegally also. Okay, the valley has a single village which is known as Malana, and the harsh resin produced there is generally more creamy or clay-like as compared to that produced in other parts of the state. Okay, so what makes this particular Malana cream unique? What makes this hashish or charas unique? The cannabis plant has a number of chemical compounds, okay, called cannabinoids. Okay, it has a number of compound that is known as cannabinoids, among which, okay, tetrahydrocannabinol, okay, among which tetrahydrocannabinol, which is in short known as THC, is the primary psychoactive, okay, psychoactive constituent which produces high sensation. Okay, so when we talk about this particular Malana cream, it has some chemical compounds which is known as cannabinoids, and among those cannabinoids there is one thing which is known as THC. Its full form is tetrahydrocannabinol. Okay, and this particular compound is primary psychoactive constituent which produces high sensation in human beings. Okay, Strains of the plant with low level of THC are used for industrial and non-drug purposes such as making ropes, paper, textile, etc. Then the plants with high level of another cannabinoid called CBD. Okay, CBD means cannabidiol. Okay, cannabidiol are used for medicinal purposes as well. A high proportion of the THC in the plant extract is required for recreational drug use, and Malana cream is believed to be particularly rich in THC, making it more potent. Then resin abstracted from the plant generally by rubbing using hands is also concentrated further to obtain full potent harsh oil. Okay, so like they rub it in their hand to make it more concentrated. Okay, this is what it makes unique. In addition to this, charas from Malana has a distinct set of terpenes. It has a distinct set of terpenes, which are aromatic compounds associated with the flavor and other characteristics. These characteristics are a result of the unique climatic conditions of the valley. Okay, then how much it worth? It worth around rupees 1500 to 8000 per 10 gram in India, that are locally sold in India. When this particular drug is smuggled outside, then its price increases, it becomes a skyrocket. Okay, price goes very high, okay, in other parts of the world. So the thing is, people from different countries visit Himachal Pradesh, and they visit this Malana village to obtain, okay, to peddle in those drugs. Okay, so to do smuggling in those drugs from this particular place. Okay, so let us understand about this Malana village. Okay, so Malana is a remote village which remained isolated from other habitations in the area for centuries and developed its own distinct culture. Then Malana currently has a population of 2,350 people and is located at an altitude of 2,650 meters above the sea level. Okay, it has been a self-contained democratic society for centuries, according to the Himachal government. Besides the Malana cream, it also attracts visitors due to its age-old traditions, scenic beauty, popular tracks, and a distinct culture and myths and legends associated with the inhabitants. Okay, so if you want to learn more about it, you can follow this reference link from Indian Express. Now let us talk about the next topic for the day. We are going to discuss about diet of the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, diet means like eating pattern of the Indus Valley civilization. As you know that Indus Valley civilization is one of the oldest civilizations, okay, in the world. Okay, along with Indus Valley civilization, there has been many civilizations like Chinese civilization, then the civilizations that Egyptian civilizations, like that. Okay, so the thing is, Indus Valley civilization is one of the oldest civilization in the world, and it is part of proto-history. It is part of proto-history. What do we mean by proto-history? Proto-history is the time period in history where the record, like written evidences or written records were available, but like we have not yet been able to decipher those written records of that particular thing. So still many historians are conducting research. Okay, they are doing research on Indus Valley civilization, okay, for various aspects, okay, to understand more about Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so this is known as proto history. It is part of proto history. So we will talk about it in detail. So before that, let us understand the context in which it was in news. Okay, recently a study was conducted which was titled as Lipid Residues in Pottery from the Indus Civilization in the Northwest India. Okay, looks at the food habit of the people of that era on the basis of the lipid residue analysis found in pottery from the Harappan sites in Haryana. Okay, so they have done a study in the Harappan sites in Haryana. Okay, so Harappa and Indus Valley civilization, Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization, they are interchangeably used for the same thing. Okay, Harappa was one of the earliest site that was excavated over there. Okay, so earlier, like people have excavated to find out the villages over there. Later on, they have found out some pottery, so people have been doing research on pottery, and this is the first such study where people the researchers have done analysis on the things that are attached or like food samples that are attached with those potteries. And so they have found out some interesting details, okay, from the research that they have conducted. Okay, so this particular study finds that Indus Valley civilization had dominance of meat. Okay, so people used to like eat meat a lot. Okay, so where was this particular study published? It was published in the Journal of Archaeological Science. It was published in the Journal of Archaeological Science. As I already discussed, the title of the study was Lipid Residue in Pottery from the Indus Civilization in Northwest India. Okay, so what was the topic on which they did research? What's cooking in the Indus civilization? Okay, so the researcher has actually written a thesis. She has written thesis on this particular topic. What's cooking in the Indus civilization? Investigating Indus food through lipid residue analysis. Okay, so now it is also disputed like how old is the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, there are some books that says like Indus Valley civilization was there from 2500 BC to 1750 BC. Okay, there are books that say Indus Valley civilization was between 2500 BC 2500 BC, sorry, okay, BC and 1750 BC. But this particular study, they said 2600 BC to 1900 BC. Okay, so they have done analysis on 5 Indus civilization settlements. Okay, so when we talk about Indus Valley civilization, we already discussed like it is one of the oldest civilization. Okay, and we have some written records of the Indus Valley civilization, but we have not been able to decipher the details about that particular study. Okay, so it finds dominance of animal products such as meat of pigs, cattle, buffalo, sheep and goat, as well as dairy products. Okay, so this particular study has found that animal products like meat of pig, cattle, buffalo, sheep, uh, and goat, as well as they have found dairy products. Okay, so Indus Valley civilization was spread across large parts of modern Pakistan, northwest and western India, okay, and Afghanistan. Apart from this, this particular study says that the diversity of the plant products and regional variation in the cropping patterns was also there. Okay, so they used to do summer as well as winter based cropping. Okay, then we have found evidence of barley, wheat, rice, then different varieties of millets and a range of winter and summer pulses, oil seeds and fruit of vegetables including brinjal, cucumber, grapes, date palm were grown and consumed over here. Okay, so they say that out of the domestic animals, cattle or buffalo are the most abundant, averaging between 50% and 60% of the animal bones that were found. Okay, with sheep and goat accounting for 10% of the animal remains. Okay, so out of the domesticated animals, cattle or buffalo were 50 to 60%, and sheep or goat were only 10%, okay, of the animal remains that were found. The high proportions of the cattle bones may suggest a cultural preferences for beef consumption across Indus populations, supplemented by consumption of mutton or lamb. Okay, so they consumed, like meat from different animals. Okay, at Harappa, 90% of the cattle were kept alive until they were 3 or 3.5 years old. Okay, suggesting that females were used for dairy production, whereas male animals were used for traction. Okay, wild animal species like deer, antelope, gazelle, hares, birds, and riverine or marine resources are also found in small proportions in the faunal assemblage of both rural and urban Indus sites. Okay, it suggests that these diverse resources had a place in the Indus diet. Okay, so this particular pattern is similar at the sites in the northwest India, where domestic and wild mammals and a smaller proportion of birds, reptiles, riverine fish, mollusks were consumed. Okay, This study is unique because it has gotten to look into the contents of the vessels also. Okay, the vessels or earthen pots that we have, extracted from there. They have, given a look into the contents of those vessels. Okay, and there is also evidence of hares and birds being eaten. Okay, although little evidence of chicken being a part of the diet is found. Okay, so if you want to learn more on this particular news item, you can follow this reference link from Indian Express, okay? And it will help you to understand more about it, okay? So that's all that we had to discuss for the day. Thank you so much for attending the session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Bye bye, take care.